Hey, and what is up, movie viewers? Dena Movie Views here, asking, what you watching? Are you looking for a movie recommendation? Well, you are in luck because today I am watching Suburbicon, starring Matt Damon, Julianne Moore, and Oscar Isaac, Karima Westbrook, Tony Espinoza, and Leith M. Burke, and it is written by Joel Coen, Ethan Coen, George Clooney, and Grant Heslov. This movie was directed by George Clooney. Now, I have to admit that I found this movie by mistake. One night, hubby and I were watching TV, and I was flipping through the channels, and I saw this black lady, and she was hanging out clothes while all these Caucasian people were hurling insults at her. They were saying some vulgar, racist things. And what I noticed is she did not respond. She did not speak a word back. She just continued to pin her clothes through the laundry, her laundry to the clothesline. So I stopped to see, what is that all about? And that was when I decided to watch this movie from the very beginning. Now, this movie is rated R, and I would almost rate it mature audiences only, because it would not be wrong to label it that. There are some gory scenes. It was kind of a sick, sadistic humor, and it is quite violent. I have to admit that. There is crime, murder, just an awkward kind of comedic, horrific drama wrapped up all in one. Kind of difficult movie to even describe, and I guess that is what made it so interesting, because there were some very funny circumstances that caused some weird, unfortunate or fortunate coincidences to occur that really, the best word to describe some of the happenings in this movie would be karma. Suburbicon was actually released in 2017. It takes place in a suburban, all Caucasian community, and it was in the 1950s, the summer of 1959 to be exact. And it begins with this black family that moves into town. There is a black mother, a black father, and a black son. And they move into this all white, racist community. And they are greeted by these hateful, angry neighbors that commence to making their lives a pure hell that I'm sure some people alive today can tell you about that experience. And through it all, this black family, Mr. and Mrs. Myers and their son Andy, they just ignored it all. They were acting like it wasn't happening around them. They weren't responding. They weren't even looking at some of the people that were hurling these insults and the nasty hostility, bigotry, and just devilish action. They weren't responding. In this movie, there's a particular scene where the mother, Mrs. Myers, she goes shopping at the local grocery store, and they're looking at her as if they've never seen a black woman shop. And you could see, if eyes could speak, you could tell what some of them were saying. But she goes to this very racist grocery store, and she's behind another lady in line, and the other lady pays for her stuff. So it's her turn. When she gets up there, the cashier, who is a Karen, she changes all of the prices for the items that she has in her shopping cart, and the prices are all changed, and so everything in there costs $20 an item. They tell her that the price for each individual item that she has in her shopping cart is going to cost her $20. And of course, she gracefully leaves this very racist establishment, but it does not stop there. I mean, just plain prejudice behavior. Black people actually had to deal with this. But now we know it's more covert. Anyway, it was clearly being exhibited all around them, and they just would not respond to it. The movie then focuses on a Caucasian neighbor that has a young Caucasian son by the name of Nick Gardner. They're right next door to them. So the Caucasian young boy, he befriends Andy. He comes out and he speaks to him, and the two of them begin to pitch the ball, and Nick even invites Andy to go with him to play. But now my son could not go with this white child anywhere with the greeting that they just gave my black family. Really? Anywho, all is not as it seems in this neighborhood. And at Nick's house, his father, whose name is Gardner, it is not all as it appears. And this person is played by Matt Damon Gardner, who is Nick's father. Now, he's not just this mild-mannered individual that he personifies. No way, honey. There is so much more to this fellow. Now, they seemingly have a happy home, but it is just a picture-perfect facade. It turns out to be something sinister and quite disturbing going on in this Caucasian child's home. And it begins with a very, very violent home invasion. Okay, spoiler alert. There is a home invasion that sets off a barrage of violence, mishaps, and sometimes gruesome antics and plain out murder. And I do mean gross. Did I say gross? Now, it is a comedic, dramatic, and somewhat of a thriller. And I honestly did not know whether to laugh or feel that it was restitution for their cunning schemes in this movie. Like I said, once again, there are some gross violence. There's some language and sexuality in this movie, so it's certainly not for children. I liken this movie to watching a train run out of control, but you just can't stop looking. You want to, but you can't, because you got to see what happens. And that is exactly how this movie was to me, and this is why I have to give this movie a 3 out of 5 stars. It really kept my attention, and surprisingly, I was waiting and anticipating what would happen next. I caught myself experiencing various emotions. I felt anger, laughter, compassion, and I even felt sick to the stomach at one point. Ew. But if you want to check out Suburbicon, you can certainly do it, because it is currently streaming on Amazon Prime. I also saw it on Vudu and Paramount. Anywho, try it out. This has been Dena Movie Reviews. Like, share, and comment. And if you have not already, be sure to subscribe. Also, you can subscribe and listen to my other channel, Discussions with Dena, where I discuss current topics, events, and concerns to me and you. And as always, you feel very comfortable to join in the conversation. You're welcome to have a discussion with Dena. But check it out on YouTube and listen to me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you get your podcasts from. So join me for my next movie review and movie recommendation. And remember, it's my view. Now, what you watching?